Hi everyone. 5 or 6 years ago, I purchased my first robotic vacuum cleaner to fool around with. I got a no-name brand. It was a cheap one, and it worked reasonably well. But as you can imagine, after 5 or 6 more years, the technology has changed quite a bit. So I went out and I bought this unit here. It's eufy, and it's a robotic vacuum cleaner. What it brings to the table over what I used to have is it has lidar, which does a better job of mapping and picking out your room area and figuring out where everything is. And then also it incorporates some different rollers and things of that type. It does not include some of the things that are available these days, such as mopping. I don't have any capability for doing that with this unit here. And also, doing things like self-cleaning. Some of these units will actually park themselves on the charger and empty out the dirt bin, automatically, so you only have to clean the main bin every so often. This one here does not have that feature, so after every vacuuming I have to empty the dirt bin. And it's amazing what these things collect. So what I wanted to do was kind of open this up and have a look at what's in here. By the way, I settled on this particular brand. There were two of them that I was interested in. This was one, and there was also a Sharp version also that was interesting to me. However, when I went on Amazon and took a look at it, this one was about $30 cheaper, and it had like 12,000 reviews as opposed to 300 or 400. And it also had an indicator on the Amazon site that they've sold about 4,000 of these, no, 2,000 of these things in the past month, as opposed to the Sharp only having 300 or so. Okay, I've got everything unwrapped here, and I thought I'd just show you a little bit about what's involved here. As I mentioned before, this is the charge unit. You just sort of set it down on the floor, you plug it in, and then the unit will park itself in front of this and make the contacts and charge up. As far as the unit itself, I mentioned that it has lidar. That's what this thing on the top is about. Apparently it sends out a beam all around, and it keeps track of where everything is and where it has been, so that instead of bouncing around the room until it eventually covers everything, this one will actually figure out where it is and go up and down in rows and then go across to make sure it doesn't miss anything. So that's what this is. As far as, again, this is not one of those that has a self-cleaning type of thing. So after every vacuuming, I'm going to have to take this off and then open it up. Open this up and clean out the bin in here. And of course, there is a HEPA filter in this corner here. So apparently, occasionally I'll have to get that replaced or whatever. But that's all that you'll collect in this bin. And then, of course, you put it back in, and away you go. As far as on the bottom, it has this type of roller here, and I mentioned there's an improvement in the technology. The old one that I had a tendency to collect a lot of animal fur and hair down in this roller that you had to kind of keep removing it. This uses a slightly different technique to try to minimize the amount of fur that gets caught in this brush roller. It also has one of these, whereas my old one had two of them. So basically what this does is it kind of goes along the edges of things and sweeps any debris into this area here to be sucked in. So, and that's basically all it is. They're pretty simple. Has a bit of a bumper in the front so that, if it bumps into something, it'll know to stop and turn around. There are some sensors underneath here. There's 3 of them. And apparently the main thing with those is if you happen to be doing this on an upstairs, it'll actually find the edge of a stair and it won't go falling down the stairs. So it'll find the area that it needs to stop and that sort of thing. I understand there are some where you can actually line off parts of a room as a no-go zone so that this thing won't go in there. The way this one works apparently is you can highlight no-go zones on the app, the map that shows up on your phone. So that's where I'm at, getting ready to hook this all up and give it a try. There are plenty of people on the internet showing you these vacuum cleaners running around and bumping into things. So rather than tie up time doing that, I thought I would focus on the map that resulted from my first time use of the vacuum cleaner. Shown here, the area that you see in red, that was actually our kitchen area, which is a tile floor, and the area shown in green was the rest of our area, which was our combination dining room, living room, and foyer area, and that's basically just a wood floor. And the circles that you see are really the positions of table legs and chairs and things of that type that the vacuum cleaner had to go around. And you can see on here where the vacuum cleaner parks itself for recharging and so on. And then the lines going back and forth show you the course that it took in order to cover all of the floor and vacuum up the whole area. Now the interesting thing about it is the old vacuum cleaner that I had, which used to randomly go around, bump into things, turn around and go off in a different direction, that one would go until the battery ran out, which would be close to 2 hours. And that's what it took for it to eventually cover everything. But because this vacuum cleaner knows where it's been and follows this pattern all the way across, it got everything done in about 40-45 minutes. So it's much faster in that way. The area, the surface area shown here in pink and green combined, according to the map, was somewhere around 400 square feet. So I do have some additional spaces that I need to add onto this. But I just wanted to show you what the result was on this first time taking the vacuum cleaner, around the house. So I ran the vacuum cleaner through its paces as shown on the map. And now it's time to have a look at what we accumulated this first time. I should mention that this household is only 2 seniors and 1 cat. So it's a limited amount of accumulated dust and dirt that you would expect. But this is what I got this first time through. And that's for just vacuuming a 400 square foot portion of our home. And that's an area that I vacuumed 2 or 3 days before this.